Good afternoon. Welcome back to Nearpost Flick On. So, the biggest transfer saga this window is officially now over as Liverpool have finally signed their long awaited target, Alexander Isak. The Reds paid a British transfer record of 125 million for the player on deadline day. The saga had been long protracted throughout the entire summer window, dominating headlines for weeks on end. However, this episode has now concluded. Now, Isak has always said, and he has always stated that his desire was to join Liverpool and would not consider or contemplate any other option. Whereas Newcastle believed the player to be under contract and thus not for sale. So it's been a long summer saga, but finally it's now over. And I think all parties and the supporters as well, both respective supporters, will be very happy that this chapter has now ended, although perhaps maybe not the expected outcome, depending on which side of the fence you sit on. Now, from a Liverpool supporter perspective, they'll be absolutely delighted with the addition of Isak to their current squad, and for sure will be ever more confident at the very prospect of what this signing means for the club in regards to their ambition for total dominance. I think you could call this maybe the Liverpool era, if you like. The squad that has been assembled this window has the pedigree to go on to achieve greatness for the next 3 to 4 years and will absolutely be highly competitive in all competitions for the foreseeable future. I mean, it's obvious they've got one of the best squads that we've seen assembled in Premier League history. Not just in recent times, in Premier League history, they've got an absolute squad. And with Isak signing, I think that makes a whole bunch of difference as well. They've now become the team to beat in a lot of the competitions. Now, Liverpool have signed a striker that has been an upwards trajectory. I mean, we've seen that. We've seen that, and he seems to be getting better every season. His goal tally in the Premiership in the past 3 seasons speak volumes, and he has also proved time and time again that he shows up in big games, as he did in the League Cup final, earning Newcastle their first trophy in 70 years. So they haven't just gone and bought, bottom of the barrel or bottom of the basement signing there, Liverpool. They've bought a player who's been bought for 125 odd million, a player who's constantly improving, a player who's now joined a team of winners, a player who will now be playing with the likes of Mo Salah, and it will change him. It will make him better, no doubt about it. I don't think he's going to go there. He's going to go to Liverpool and be a flop. I think he's going to go to Liverpool and he will hit the ground running and he will deliver. You've got a player that's a 20 goal a season striker. He's a 20 goal a season striker and he's proved that playing at Newcastle. So imagine what he's going to do playing at Liverpool. I think I won't be surprised if he gets 30 goals. Maybe not this season, maybe the season after next. But I just feel that, he is the right addition for Liverpool and he's a proven Premier League player, proven Premier League striker. So, the sky's the limit as far as I'm concerned. Now, for Newcastle fans, on the other hand, they'll be very disappointed. Of course they will be at the outcome of losing one of your best players. So I'm sure those at St. James's Park, I'm sure they didn't want Isak to make this transition. They didn't want him to go. But once a player has made his mind up, you have to just respect it and just allow the player to move on. So I can only imagine what the reception of Isak will be when he returns to St James's Park as a Liverpool player. I don't know. He might get booed. Let's be honest, he might get booed. But with that being said, if a player doesn't want to play for a club, I feel you have to respect the player's wishes and just let him go because his heart's not going to be in it. So it makes sense for the player to move on and both parties to kind of part ways mutually. With that being said, Newcastle did manage to secure the service of Johan Wieser from Brentford, and the striker will be hoping to make his mark for the Magpies. Now, with Wieser, I think he's a good player, and if you looked at some of the games that Newcastle have played this season already, you can see that they're missing a striker. And a striker of Wieser's credentials, I think, will make a difference for Newcastle. So all is not lost. All is not lost. I think they've got a good replacement there in Wieser. It's just it's a shame that the saga's kind of ended the way it did, but they have got a good striker in Wieser. I just feel bad for Brentford because they've lost another key player. I can't see how they'll stay up this season. I just can't. I think they've lost too many key factors, too many key elements. Brentford. So I just can't see how they'll stay up. But for Newcastle, yeah, rest assured, I'm sure we saw maybe not on the same level as Isak, but you can see that Newcastle still have a good system. They still have a good team there. There's a structure there. There's a structure there that Eddie House put in place, and the missing jigsaw to the puzzle will probably be Wisa, and I think he'll make a difference. So at the present moment, I think it belongs to Liverpool FC and their fan base. I think we're now entering the Liverpool era, just like the 80s, and it'll be very, very difficult for any club to mount a serious challenge. However, it's the beautiful game and anything is possible. So please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much.